Hello everyone, I'm Zishan Shah and welcome to Z Interactive YouTube channel, your own training institute. So we will go through our next lesson here and we will learn more about the basic nodes here. There are a variety of basics nodes which you should know about it so that you can continue working on your projects and you can create some basic projects. So because if you don't know about these nodes, you won't be able to go forward. So that's why these are the first nodes I prefer you to understand and learn about them so that you can start creating at least some basic projects. And then from here, we will go to the advanced nodes and we will create some advanced projects also. So also we will learn how the height maps are created and what are the values inside that creates the height maps while learning these nodes here. So I will go here in new substance. I will create a graph here, empty graph and basic nodes. I will name it and press OK. Now here I have this scene, but I don't want this to be a round cube. I want this to be a high res. Now, next time, because if I will open it again, my whole project, so what it will do is that it will again open up uh, like a rounded cube. But I don't want that every time. I want to open plain res every time I create a new file. So to make this my default scene, I have to go to the scene and save current scene state as default. So every time I will create a new project, it will start from here instead of starting from the rounded cube. Okay. So now I need the first thing, and you know what's the first thing is the base material. So spacebar, base material. I have it. Now let's connect a height map to it. So I will double click over here and I need a height map input. Okay, so now I have this height map input, but first thing first, we have to make sure that in the material properties in the default, in the physical material reference default, our tessellation is on. So this is what I always use, and most of the time this is the one that is used. So I will just go to here and turn on the tessellation level here. Okay, it will take us to this window. Okay, and now here, as I am inside, if because once you go to the physical metal roughness and you click on the tessellation, it directly takes you inside your material editing mode. But if you don't go there by any or by for some reason, so you can go to the material here, default, and edit. So it will take you there. So here we have to search for tessellation factors. That tessellation factor is 4. I can make it 16. You can keep it 4 if you want. Scale value, I will increase it to 10. Scalar 0 value, it's right now 0.5. But what it is, scalar 0 value is the mid value. Mid value is basically, you can say, gray color. So that when you increase like any height, so it goes all the way up, but if you decrease it, it should not go all the way down too much. That mid value will help it to preserve the end values. So as we will move to our advanced projects, you will more better understand about it. So right now you don't have to worry about that. This one I can keep it 0. Okay, because if you will notice that, let's make it 0.5 what it was before and make this scale 0. Now if you will notice, if I'm increasing the scale right now to 10, the plane is moving down a little bit. That is the reason, because we have the scalar 0 value. But what if we make the scalar 0 value to 0 itself? like completely 0. And then when I start changing the scale, it doesn't move it up or down because there is no mid-level value here. So it will purely give us the exact height now. So that's, we have set it up. Now let's see what do we have as our first basic material. The first basic material you should know is the shape. So when I click here, spacebar, shape, and here we have shape. Now let's plug it in the shape here, so at least we can see what's going on. Now in the shape, we have the first thing here is the base parameters, and base parameters usually we don't change a lot. The reason is that because it is associated with our main graph, so we don't change it a lot. So it's just basically output size, the output color format, and those kind of things like tiling. Basically, if you don't want the tiling, this is where you change the tiling. Or also you can change the pixel ratio if you want. But usually what I change by myself most of the time here is the tiling mode if I don't want the tiling. So I turn this into absolute and then change it to no tiling. So there is no tiling here. So here right now I have square. So if I will scale it down, okay, let's move this screen here so we can see everything. So I have reduced the size of this square. Now if I will increase the tiling, so you will notice that it is increasing the tiling. So this is what I mean by that. And if I reduce the size, increase the size, you can see how this is affecting. So let's keep it no tiling for now. And let's change it to disk. In the pattern, you have a lot of different patterns. You have bell, you have capsule, you have half bell, you have wave, you have a lot of things here. Now I will choose disk here, and then you can see what else we have. We have here size. Okay, you can make it X and Y separately. And if we have something like square, we can also check its degrees and turns and rotations here. Okay, but as we don't want to play with this, so we are working on our disk. So we have the disk here, and we have square. In the square we have if we go back to square, we have this like rotation 45 degrees. If I turn this on, so you can see that we are getting this sort of a rotation with the tile. And if I turn it off, it's a normal rotation here. And then we have non-square tiling as well. So if we turn on this, okay, so and turn this off, make this okay. So let's make both of them true. So if I will reduce these, like, you know, something like that, so you can have the tiling basically non-uniformly if you're changing. Okay, but let's keep it false, all of them, and let's go back to our disk and no tiling here. Okay, now you might be wondering that I have a shape now and I have connected this to height, but it is not showing here. Okay, let's do one more thing here. Let's give it a color, some sort of a color here. So let's go back here in the material, base color, turn it on. Okay, and spacebar, and I have here another basic material that I want you to know is the uniform color. So uniform color is just, it gives you a color or a gray, like a gray shade. So I can choose any color, plug it in. Okay, now everything is like both of these are here, but it's not showing. The reason is that because we have not applied it here. To apply it here, you just have to right click here and drag on this. And this is what we did in our last lesson. Okay, now we can see that, but this green color is quite annoying. Let's use some sort of a uh, lightweight color. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay, so now you can see that we have this. Now, one more thing I want you to know about another. Let's go back here in the base material. We are lacking shadow here. Okay, and that you can get from ambient occlusion. We don't have any sort of ambient occlusion here. So I will turn on my ambient occlusion here. So it will turn on the ambient occlusion, and I don't have anything inside the ambient occlusion. So what you can do is that take the same node that you have here and drag it here. Okay. Now I have some sort of an ambient occlusion here. Okay. But this ambient occlusion is basically, this whole thing itself is kind of a black, and this is white. And so that's how, like, this sort of an like result we are getting here. So what you can do, instead of directly inputting it, just delete the ambient occlusion from here, space bar, and we will get the ambient occlusion node. Now here you can connect to this one. Okay. Now you can see a good result. Okay. Now this should go inside the ambient occlusion. Otherwise, it will take this image and convert this into an ambient occlusion. Now take this and plug it inside the ambient occlusion. Now you can see we have clear shadow. Okay. So I hope this is more clear for you by now. Okay. And one more thing we can do is that inside the substance of our material, we have here normal. So we can turn on normal here. So normal is on. So what we can do is that, let's move this up so we can have more space. We can bring the normal from here. Okay. And same thing, connect this to normal and this to this normal. Okay. Now here, just like ambient occlusion, we should have a normal node here. Height can directly go there. You don't need any kind of middle value here for the height. But I will explain what else you can put it here in the height. So but that's in some other case. But right now, in the normal, you can increase the intensity of the normal, and you can see it is increasing. You can turn on the OpenGL if you want, or DirectX if you want to keep it, up to you. So I will keep OpenGL or leave it at DirectX. That's totally up to you. Now, normal, why normal is used? Basically, normal is used for some sort of, like, if you have a minor like sort of a uh, like bump effect. Okay, like suppose you have a small sand, okay, small fibers, small dots. So for those purposes, it gives you like a high frequency detail, the normal, and it works according to the light input, and it depends what you want to use from these two. I don't want it to be, make it a little bit like too high, so this is enough. Now let's see here. If you notice that we are getting this harsh line here. Okay, that is because just look at our edges. They are sort of pixelated, and because of this we are getting this harsh edges here. Now if I will go here and change this pattern to square, I will get that, but not that much. Okay, because square itself is more straight, so there is less chance of being having like rigid edges. Okay, apart from that, let's go to material, edit, and increase our scale value a little bit, maybe 25. Okay, so we can see at least what's going on. Okay. Now in the square, if you can see that how it is like working basically. If I'll go and go to paraboloid. Now paraboloid, just notice what do we have? We have blurred edges, grayscale, okay, and then white. So how basically the height maps work? First, let's see disk. Whatever is white will extrude, will go off and will have some height. And whatever is black will remain intact. Okay. And that depends on your, if I will go to the material default and edit, and that depends on your scalar of zero value. Because if I will keep it zero point 0.5 like it was before, so you can see that this is much more pushed because it is counting as a grayscale value. Okay, but actually I don't want that. I usually keep it 0, so it won't affect anything. Now, if I will go back here in my like disk, okay, and change it to square, so you can see that because as all of them are connected to square, they will be all changed and they will update this value except for this one because this is separately attached here. Now we have this, and this is how it kind of looks like. Okay, because all this white thing is going extruded and the black is remaining on the side. Now if I will go to the parabolite like what I showed you before, you will get a sort of this sort of a result. Okay, something like a softly moved item, like a softly moved extrusion here. Now why we are getting this? Okay, first of all, let's do one thing. Let's make this grayscale here so that we can actually see what's going on. Or just go to color and make it. So we can see at least clearly. Okay, that looks pretty neat. Okay, now, and one more thing I can do, I can go to my ambient occlusion and increase the height depth. I can have more shadow here. Radius a little bit. We can increase it. Samples we can increase if you want to make a high resolution of the ambient occlusion. So these are some settings here. Height depth means uh, suppose if you will increase it, it will become more softer. So it looks like it is like of it's kind of much more away from the ground. So if you will reduce it, so it gives an effect like it is not that much away from the ground. Radius is the size of your shadow. So usually you don't keep it a lot. So this much. Okay. Now let's go back here. So now we can clearly see what we have. So wherever we have this gray value, that will not have too much height. So in the parabolite, it is changing from gray to white. So if I will show you from here, from this angle, you can see that from gray to white, how is changing from gray, because here it is black. Black means all flat. So just notice all flat, nothing is changed. As soon we start like getting gray, dark gray, light gray, then gray, middle gray, very light gray, very light gray, white. So where you get the white, which is in the middle, you get the height more at that area. Otherwise, it's like a low height, low height, low height, like gray, gray, darker gray, a little bit more darker, more darker, more darker, more darker, and black. So the height is set up by the level of your black and white. Okay, for example, let's do some more here. Like we have bell. Now bell, the way it is created, the its height is a little bit different than parabolite, so you will get this sort of a result. Okay, then we have let's go back here, increase the height depth so we can see. Okay. Now, if I will go back here and I will change it to Gaussian, so I have this sort of a result. So my result will be something like this. Then Thorn will look like this. Okay. Just notice how these gradient colors and these blurry stuff are made. So this is how it will be created. Okay. Now, gradation. This is a good example. Just see, this shape is basically, if I make it smaller or bigger to see the better picture of it, from where the area is black, you can see it is on the ground level, and as soon it is becoming like a whiter and whiter, it's getting out of this, like out of the level, it's like above the level, so it is more moving outwards, it's extruding outwards. Then we have waves, it will look like something like this. So it's all height depending on what do you have inside your uh, like how these colors are distributed, how these gray shades are distributed. Okay, this is cone, this is hemisphere. Okay, and this is disk. So now, before continuing, what I will do is that I will go to my ambient occlusion and I will reset these values. So give me some natural values because I just messed up around. So both of them now they are resetted. So it will give me the natural values here. Now, the next like node which I want to tell you is the blend node. Now, the blend node is highly useful and you will be using it a lot. This is how you, with the help of the blend node, you create shapes. Okay. How about we create a peace sign? Because what we have right now here is a normal circle shape. Okay. If I'll go here, I have all these shapes, but I don't have any sort of a peace sign. Okay, so how I can get the peace sign with the help of this with the blend. Now, one more thing is that in our next chapter, which will be our chapter 3, that chapter is all about the blending options. Okay, so in this chapter we will not go through all the details of the blending options because that we have a completely dedicated chapter for that. So I'll just go through add and subtract, so you'll see how we can do that. Now I will go here, blend mode. Okay, now I got this. And now in the blend mode, you can either take it from here or spacebar, type blend mode, and you will get this. Now here I have foreground and I have background and I have output. So I will take this shape, put it on the foreground. Okay. And I will take this shape. Okay. Or not this shape, sorry. I will make another shape here. And choose a disk. Same. Okay. A little bit more smaller than this. And put this in the background. Now I can go in the blend now. Now I have the bigger circle on foreground and smaller circle, like circle shape on the background. Now if you double click on the blend, you will move inside the blend. Now we have here opacity option. So if I will change the opacity, you can see that the foreground opacity will be keep on changing and I will be able to see the background. Okay. Now I don't see this result here. The reason is that because all these nodes are still connected to shape. So I have to take them all and connect to blend. Okay. So like suppose I have to delete this from here, from here, from here, then connect this one here, connect this one here, connect this one here. Okay. Now if I will go here and start to playing opacity, you can see that depending on this, I'm getting this sort of result just by playing with the opacity. because the foreground opacity is reducing and we are able to see the background node. So this is just like layer. You have first layer, then you have second layer. First layer, you're changing, and second layer, you're changing. Okay. And this is how we will get it here. Now, I want to create a peace sign. Now, just to show you how the peace sign looks like, let me bring the peace sign here. So this is how the peace sign looks like. Okay. So you have something like this and these two options here. Now here we have a hole inside. Okay, so we have only this outer like circle, and we have the hole inside here. So if I want to make a hole here inside, so what I will do is that I have this bigger circle. Let me reduce opacity for now just to show you. I have here this circle, okay, the outer circle and this inner circle. Now this inner circle, I want this one. Let's go here. Okay, now one thing is that I want to change the size of this one. Okay, but I don't want to go out of this blend mode. So I can simply click it here one time, and then it will give me the properties, but view is still the like I have the blend in the 2D view. So the properties, I can go and decrease or increase the size of it. So this much I will, it's fine. Now I can go back here. Now what I want is that, and this is actually we learned in our last lesson too. Now what we want to do here is that I want to make a hole. Now how I will make the hole? The first, like this foreground circle, the bigger circle should remain there, and this background circle, the smaller circle, should make a cut out of this. So just like a biscuit cutter. Now what I will do here is, in the blending mode, I will choose subtract. But before doing that, let's change the opacity back to what it was. I will go to the blending mode. So now what I will do is that to do that, I will go to the blending mode and choose subtract. But I will not get the result. The reason is that it is doing the opposite. It is cutting the shape or the bigger shape from the smaller shape, and I'm not getting my result because it's zeroing it out. So these should be swapped. So I can select these two and swap it by pressing X on my keyboard. So as soon as I will do that, it will be swapped. I hope you got this idea now. Now, one more thing you can do with the blending mode is the cropping. Suppose you don't want the whole thing to appear just like that. So you can crop it, like left side I can crop. You can see this cropping, the left side just like that. And maybe you can crop the right side as well. Maybe you can crop the top side as well. Or maybe you can crop the bottom side as well. Okay. Now, if I will take these two again and press X, so the result will be like this. Right now the result is like that. Okay. But nothing we need here for the cropping. So no need for cropping here. So we are done. Now, what I want here is that I want to create those lines here. So I want to create a line here now. So what I can do at this stage, I can make another blend. So I will go make a blend, take this output here. Okay. And now press spacebar and then shape again and put this here. Now in this shape, the one that I created, I will scale it down and scale it something like this. But I cannot see the result. The thing is like we don't have the blending mode set up. So I have to go to the blend here. This time, no subtract, add. Now add doesn't need these to be, swapped or not. Okay. So now I have to scale it more down. So one time I will click it here. So I can move in the properties of this. So Y scale, I will reduce it. And you will see now I got this. Okay, maybe I can just scale this as well, or just keep it just like that. So I got this, but I cannot see that here. So now again, I have to go here, remove these stuff and put it here. It's quite annoying, right? Every time you have to do that. But there is a shortcut. There is a more easier way to do that. And that is, instead of bringing them all of these separately and like connecting it to the output, press shift on your keyboard, click it here, and then move everything to this output, and everything together will move here. Okay, so how about that? Like, how about that? It won't take this much time here, like just like that. Now, another blend here, and I will move this one to the foreground. Okay, and I will have another shape here, and I'll connect it here. Now, what I want to do here is, first of all, double click here in the newly created blend. I will make it add, but I cannot see anything because this shape is too big. So I just have to click it one time, scale it down. Now you can see, okay, and scale it just the same size. Now I can rotate it. Now I have rotated it, but there's one issue here. The issue is that I want to move it here, okay, to create the shape which I'm looking for. Now, just like what we have here. So exactly this thing I needed. I want to move it here so I can have this like sort of a shape here. Now here is where our next node comes in, and that node is called transform 2D. So between these two, I will select this connection, space bar, and here we have transform 2D. Okay, and this is the shortcut from here. Like quickly, you can get it from the top. You just have to click transform 2D and you will get this. Now I can go back to my blend and click one time here. And how this works, basically you have all these options here, but I can simply work with it just like this. Okay, I can move it around, work it. Okay, now this much is still bigger. Okay, so what you can do is that you can make it smaller. Okay, and apart from that, you can also rotate it. You can make it smaller. You can rotate it, and you can do so much other things here. You have all these options here as well, so you can check them. But usually, I don't play with all these settings here. I just manually do that. Now I want the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I hope you have understood about this like transform node. You can scale it up, you can stretch it, um, you can press shift key on your keyboard so you don't mess up with the size actually. So that's what I usually do. Then you can rotate it, and with the shift key you can rotate on the perfect angles. But one issue will be here is that if you reduce it quite smaller, you will start getting these tiles. But if you don't want to get these tiles, you have to go to your shape node here. Okay, then you have to go to your tiling mode here and choose absolute. And inside this tiling mode, choose no tiling, and you will not have any sort of tiling. Now you can go back here. You can scale it up the way you want it. That's all. Now, one thing is that I need another one on the other side. Now here, our next node, basic nodes comes in, and that is called the mirror. So I'll put the mirror between these two. So I'll just click it here, spacebar. Let's type here mirror, grayscale. The mirror grayscale, this is what we have. Okay, let's go here because it's showing only our result as this. But if you double click it here, you will notice that we have now this mirror. Okay, now we have a peace sign. So if I will go here and just check what values we like what options we have inside the mirror grayscale. We have mirror grayscale Y. So if you will see, it is mirroring on this side. Okay. Then we have here mirror corner. So what it do is that it gives you these corner types. You can mirror it top right, bottom right, like bottom left, and top left. So this is let me show you. Let's do one thing. Let's undo this one, all of this. Okay, and go back here. So at least we are done with this. So uh, let's choose the shape. Okay. Mirror grayscale. So you have mirror color and you have mirror grayscale. So for color you will use color, but mostly I use the grayscale. Now, just to demonstrate you with these, so if I let's do one more thing. Let's bring the transform 2D as well in the middle, so in case we need that. Now, if I will go to the mirror here, okay. So right now it's mirror x-axis. If I increase the like offset, so it will show me where the mirror is going. Okay, so right now this 0.5 means it will be in the middle. So I can go in the transform 2D and move it here so we can clearly see what's going on. Okay, so you can see that how it is mirroring. This is x-axis, this is y. So let's move it up this one. So you can see this is the y. Okay, then we have here mirror corner. So we have top left, so it will be mirrored on all these top the corners. Top right, so if I will go back here and move it somewhere here on this top right, then it will be mirroring here. Okay, so this is on the top right, but if I will go here and choose top left, so I will not get anything. So I have to move this to top left, then I will get the mirror on all the sides. Bottom left, I will not get anything. I have to move it on the bottom left so that I will get this. Same thing, just like that. Bottom right, so you have to make sure it is on the bottom right to get this effect. Okay, so this is basically corner type. I hope you have it is clear with you all. So I will delete them all here. And then we have this peace sign. So what we can do, press shift on our keyboard, bring all these to the peace sign here, and voila, we got our peace sign. Now, one more thing we can do is that, because as you know, it's kind of like jaggedy, or you can say jittering from here. Like you have these weird looking stuff going on here. No matter how much scale you will increase, it will stay just like just like that. Okay, or as much you will increase the like tessellation factor or the iteration for the iterations for the like tessellation, it will still stay like that. So how we can solve this issue? To solve this issue, you need to have a blur node. So we have two different kind of normal blurs. Like one is blur and one is blur high quality. So we have other blurs also, like directional blur and other stuff, but I'm talking about the normal blur. So we have blur, and then we have blur HQ, grayscale, and color. So we are working on grayscale, so I will choose grayscale. Now, what is the difference? The difference is only the quality, because here in the blur, if I will put this, you can see how the result is, and there is no quality slider here. But if I will go to the blur HQ grayscale, high quality grayscale, I have a quality slider. So if I will plug this into it, you just notice, okay, just see the result of this one and this one. Okay, so even if I'll go here and increase the quality of it, so it will be much more better. So here I can only increase the intensity of it. here I can increase the quality of it as well. So I will use the blur HQ grayscale, but if you have some minor work, so you can use only blur. But if you're not uh, if you're working on something major, then use the high quality, because in the smaller parts it's like small on the screen. You don't have to like keep on looking at it. So what I will do, I will press Shift key on my keyboard and bring all this to my like high quality here, and now you can see that what's going on. Okay, it's blurring it up, but when it is blurring it up, you can see that it's kind of a too blur. Can reduce the intensity of it. Okay, and you can see that as I'm have this sort of a result, not much of those jaggedy lines here. Okay, now it quite look good. Now one more thing we can do is that our next node, and next node is levels. So if I will go here, I have levels. Okay, let's plug this into the levels right now. Now, one more thing I will do on purpose is that increase the intensity of this. Okay, and let's move all this to the levels. Shift and move it all here. Okay. Now levels, basically we have two bar or like sliders on the top and on the bottom. Now top one, what it will do is that if you notice there is a blur here, and blur is creating an interesting shape. Now if you want to bring this blur, like if you want to remove the blur but not this interesting soft corner shapes, okay, because if I go here, it is all sharp corners. Okay, but if I blur it out, that sharp becomes smooth corners. So we have here smooth corners, not sharp corners. Okay, so these smooth corners, I want to keep it, but I don't want it to be blurred, the image. So here where the levels comes in. So if you want to do that, just go to your levels and start adjusting this top one. Okay, start pushing them till you start getting the result you're looking for. Okay, without any sort of a blur. Okay, now you can see that I have these smooth corners and there is no blur on it, and you can see the result is there. But as you know, like there is no blur applied to it, so I have these jagged lines here. So what I can do to avoid that a little bit, I will keep the blur there, but not too much. So at least I will not have that jagged lines. Okay, looks much more better. Now another thing with the levels you can do, and you will be using levels a lot for this purpose. And what is that? For one purpose is this. Another purpose is I have the height. Okay. Now what I have, like what if I have some other like nodes connected to it? I have some other stuff. Okay. And for example, let's do one thing here. Let's bring a shape. Or let's do one thing. Let's bring a star shape. Okay. Let's connect this to transform 2D with the shift key. Okay, so that it remains as it is. And in the tiling mode, absolute, no tiling. Okay. And now what I can do here, bring the mirror, grayscale, and then I will choose the corner. Okay, top left. And now what I will do is that bring the blend. Okay, use this on the foreground and this one on the background, and use add. So it will add the whole thing, and shift, drag this one to here and have this stuff. Okay, now notice I have here these shapes. Okay, one is the peace sign, other is the star, and both of them have the same height because we gave the height from here, okay, in the material edit 25 to both of two or to the whole thing. Now at times it might not be like that. Like maybe I don't want this to be too tall. I don't want to have this much height like to the star, or maybe to this one. So in this case, what I can do is that I can go to levels. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's make a level for the stars as well. So we have levels for everything. Okay, so this is the level for star, and this is for level for the uh, let's go to the level for the peace sign. Now we have adjusted this, and on the bottom, this is what this will define. This will reduce our values, the white value of our uh, like shape. If the white value will start becoming gray, the height will start reducing. So we can use these as the controller to reduce the height of any one of these shapes separately. So this level is connected to the peace sign. And if I will start reducing this uh, white, like pushing this white, you can see it is becoming gray. And when it's becoming gray, the height is going down. But at the same time, you will notice nothing is changing on the star. Okay, because this level is attached to the to our like what you call this, our like peace sign. So it is only affecting the peace sign. So let's go to the level of the star. Now I don't want to play with these for the star. I will do the same thing here by reducing this, and you can see the star are now going down because we are playing with the levels that is attached directly to the star, nothing else. And we will get this sort of a like a small tile over here. So this is how, like, why we will use the level. So first thing, if you want to smooth corners, any blended items with the blur, just like what we did here, okay, that we can do. And also if you want to change the height of something, so you have this bottom sliders, okay. And also one thing you can do is that you can play with these also, so you can see the whole part will start moving up. It will be doing something opposite, okay. And if I will keep on moving this away just like this, okay, or crossed, okay, like black here, white here, so you will start getting this negative amount, okay. This will start doing the negative amount. But then on the other hand, I have to go to the levels here, and I have to increase this level of this place as well, okay. And if I want, I can do the same thing here, and I can have, oops, this engraved amount here as well. But let's bring it back to normal because I have to explain some more stuff here. Okay. Now we can do the same thing using the histogram scan. Now, if I don't want this level, what levels, I can remove the levels from here. Okay. Oops. Or just keep it, because histogram scan can only work with the like, it will work for the height but not for the like this part, the smooth corner part. So we will keep it as it is. Only the height we will keep it normal. Now another way we can play with the height is through histogram range. So if I will go between these two and press spacebar here and go to histogram range, so I will have this histogram range here. Now I have here range and I have position here. Now position will work with the background, okay, of your work, like the black amount, which is the back amount of it, okay. And range will work with the uh, how, like, what how much area you want to affect. So this is how you can also change with the help of the histogram scan. Okay, so let's remove it because I don't want it now. Now our next um node is the histogram scan. Now histogram scan, what it do is that it scans your shape. Like suppose we have this sort of a shape, and start making it look like a thinner object or thicker object. Like it scans it, and you can make it like thinner or thicker, or like change its thickness, or like its structure and those kind of things. So here I will put the histogram scan between these two and go histogram scan. Okay, so we have two, scan and scan normal. So let's do the histogram scan right now. Histogram non-uniform, sorry. Histogram and histogram scan non-uniform. So you have both, two of them. So we are working on scan, histogram scan normal. Now, right now, as soon you will put, everything will turn into white. So what you need to do, you have to bring up your options back, like at least this one. Okay, and now if I zoom it here, and if I will increase the contrast, you can see, just increase, I will increase the contrast all the way up. And now I will start playing with the position. If the position is 1, okay, so you will notice that it will look like more thicker, okay. And if I will reduce it, to start becoming more and more thinner, okay. Even if it will go to completely zero value here, okay. So you can invert the position, because now it will be thicker. But if I will start increasing, it will start becoming thinner, thinner, and thinner. And if it go to 1, it will be gone. So it's totally up to you what you want to use in these two, like, number of ways. Okay. Now, same thing I can do much, but with much more better like quality, is the threshold. So I will put the threshold between here, and I will get the threshold. And if I will start increasing the threshold, you can see it is getting thinner. Okay. And I have some modes here, greater or equal. So it can go much more beyond if I have greater or equal. Like I can go beyond 1. Okay. Like maybe I can go, if it is 1, so it will stay like that. But if I will go just beyond 1, it will become like completely gone. Now this threshold and in histogram scan works much more better when you have something like blurred. So instead of putting it after the value, after the levels, we will put it between levels and the uh, a high quality grayscale. So I will put it here. Let's put threshold because threshold is have much more like better result. Now you can see it is much more thicker right now. Let's change it to greater or equal. So if I will start increasing, you will see it will start reducing its uh, thickness. So it works much more better if you have the result after your like after the blur, not after the level, because after the level automatically it will become like thinner. So you can see now still we have these jagged lines because we have worked the threshold. So let's bring back some blurredness there. Okay. Or what we can do, we can just add another blur high scale here. Okay. Up the quality, reduce the intensity. Cool. Right. Now we can reduce the height of it from the levels. So at least we can have this sort of thing. Okay. But if you want to engrave it, so you can do this opposite. Okay, so it's totally up to you. Now, there are a couple of more basic notes, but I don't want to go over them right now in this class because those we can do uh, by when we will move to like different like lessons. So each and every lesson I will be also introducing some more. These are the top basics one. So that's why like these I have like mentioned here, explained here. Now one more thing in the uniform in the basic color here, base color here, you can do one thing. Instead of having a uniform color, we can have a gradient map. So I can take a gradient map and I can plug it in the gradient map here. Now, gradient map basically like there is nothing inside the gradient map. So what I can do here is that I can double click here, okay, and I will get the gradient here. So you can remove any gradient points by clicking and dragging up. It will be removed. But if you want to add or like change, double click on any one of these, change it, and you can see that they are start coming up here. Let's go here, and then you can start changing this one as well. And then what we can do if we want more, double click between these. Okay. And then you can change to anything you want. Let's change it to yellow so we can have some more variety. Okay. So we have this sort of a like color right now here. So what else we can do is that we can go in the gradient and we can move these stuff here. Instead of linear, we can make it flat tangents, smooth tangents. I think because it needs a lot of more to view it. Okay, let's change this scene to something else. Like let's make it a rounded cube so we can see different sort of results here. Okay, so this is how you will get it here. Okay, and so right now gradient map needs an input so that I kind of create this gradient that I made here over that input. So what we can do here is that we can go and take any one of these noises here. Okay, or clouds. Let's make a let's bring a cloud. Let's make cloud 2. Okay, and I can change the size, or I can take the input and put it here. And now you can see that the way I add it is just like this. Okay, now let's go back to my plain high res. It's kind of look like this. Okay, so it took the cloud and it changed the cloud to this. However, what I can do, I can just go in the middle of this and transform to D and increase the size of this so that the results will not be that bad. Also, I can add a mirror, a blur high quality grayscale. Can up the intensity this so we can have this, and plus I can go back to my transform and reduce the size of it instead of increasing it, but increase the value of the blur and a little bit size of the transform a little bit more. Okay, so you can see how this will look like in if we have a sphere. Okay, how it will look like if we have a mat ball, rounded cube. Okay, how it will look like on rounded cylinder. Okay, and how it will look like on two sphere tiles. Two sphere tiles means like one is on the front, other is on the at the back. So you can see interesting result it is giving us. How it will look like on the torus. How it will look like in these kind of different things. So I will choose here this one back. Now the next node we have is the edge detect node. So let's see what it do. So suppose I have this star shape, and let's bring everything from here to the star and put it out, and then I will scale it down. Now what if I don't want the star shape itself? What I want is that not the filled shape, I just want the line, the border, the outline of this star. So one thing I can do here is that I can use and like invert, just like in the Photoshop we have. So invert grayscale because we are working on grayscale right now. And I'll put this here. Okay. And then what I can do is that I can blend it. And then I can take this one, use transform 2D and put it here. And I can use subtract from here. But before doing that, let's go here and scale it a little bit down, just like this. Put it in the middle. And also let's go here inside and remove these tiles here. So I will choose absolute in the tiling mode and no tiling. And let's go back here. And I want to select these all and press X on my keyboard so it goes like this. Okay, or just like here. Okay, so instead of subtract, I will choose add here. So then I will click here, make it smaller. Now I have some sort of a line here. Now this line, I want it to be white because if I will move this one, everything here, you will notice that it will give me a negative impression. It will keep on going down because the white is it's extruding and the black is not extruding. It's still at its own place. So I don't want this. So what I have to do, I have to create another invert grayscale and plug this in, and everything else I will press shift, move from here to here, and now I got it. So I just got this one, but to see how what sort of process I have done. It's a long process, Not in this case, but maybe if you're working on a complex shape or something, so maybe you might have to make more of these nodes. So the easiest way to do is, let's remove all these from here. So let's do one thing. Press shift here, put everything back there, and remove all these from here. And now I will take this out and I will choose edge detect here. And once I will choose the edge detect, so you will notice there is a edge here. Now I will take this whole thing, put it back there. Now in the edge detect, I have here edge width. So I can increase the width of my edge. So it will give me an outline. I can increase that. Edge roundness, suppose you don't want it to be round. So you can, if you want it to make it more rounder, you can increase it. If you don't want, you can decrease it. Just like when you add the level. So you don't need to add the levels here. Plus you don't, I don't want this part to be black. I want it to be inverted. So I have this invert option here. So I can invert it, this one, and I will have something like this. Okay, so I don't have to invert it as well. Tolerance, if I increase the tolerance, it will give me more of the edge, like tolerance here, if you see that. And if I decrease it, it will be all plain. So it's better to keep it less. So just like that, you will have your edge. So just with one node, you can do everything. So I hope you like this one, because I use it a lot. So maybe in your case, you will be using this as well. So I hope you have liked this lesson, and I'm sure you will be waiting for the next lesson. Our next lesson will cover some more nodes, and we will go into detail into some advanced level of nodes. So I would like to thank you all for all your support, and I hope you will continue to support me. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed to it yet, and I will be posting a lot of new content. So don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can receive the notifications about them. If you have liked my video, so please hit the like button and leave your questions in the comment section below, and I will surely answer them. In the end, I would like to mention that please watch all my videos online so I can have some benefit also, because downloading my videos will not pay off my hard work. So please avoid downloading. I hope you are not doing that, but there may be some new people who are just joined and they don't know about it. So I'm just addressing them. So thanks once again, everyone, and soon we will meet in the next lesson. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, and keep learning. And before winding up, the last thing you can do here is in the base material, right click here, and then you can create output nodes. No here, and then you got it. So you can save it and you can use it anywhere you want. And let's save this all. Okay, and you can name it your node piece. So take care, everyone, and we'll meet in the next lesson.
There is one important announcement I would like to make. I have started 3 great membership plans on my channel. I have introduced ZI Friends membership plan, which will give you exciting perks like loyalty badges and priority on comments. I have also introduced ZI Early Bird plan, which will give access to Z interactive tutorials way early before they become public. So you will get all these lessons at once and you can binge watch. Last but not the least, I have introduced ZI Premium plan, which will give access to advanced professional tutorials, which you will find at very expensive outside, and I will be giving this at a very low amount of price. So visit my channel now and click on the join membership to get more information. I hope you become one of my members. If you want to learn how to create a highly detailed prop procedurally using Substance Designer, so this premium tutorial series is for you. Join my premium membership plan on YouTube and get access to all premium tutorials. In this tutorial series, I will demonstrate how to use Substance Designer along with simple geometry to create a realistic, smashed up retro television.